What if I told you that this next vow will teach you how to find all the riches that you want, all the success that you need, and it shows you how to find it? Let's talk about that. Well, of course, first of all, we know that a vow is a solemn promise to do a specified thing. So, what promise can you make to yourself that'll let you find all the great opportunities that there are in the world, in workplace, in the marketplace, in the world? Let's start with this. I have been so blind. My vision is no longer impaired. However, my vision is no longer impaired by any attitude because my attitude has been transformed. Now I understand that opportunities never appear with their potential for wealth or success or honor or fame painted upon them. Every time every task that I do must be accomplished with my very best effort, or I risk having the greatest of opportunities slip away without even a warning bell. A day dawns like other days, but it is possible in this day that I may be confronted with the chance of a lifetime. To face every task, no matter how difficult and menial it may be, with courage and persistence, it is the only way that I can be certain of seizing the supreme opportunities when they come. Now, there's an old saying that I really, really love. And I believe this to my core. And it says, be ready so I don't have to get ready. And that opportunities are something you can also make. Now, whether proclaimed with great fanfare or hiding beneath a mantle of dusk, like a hidden treasure, opportunities are all around us. Now, the old me could never have been capable of committing myself to grabbing such opportunities. But now, in my adoption of these vows and the 10 principles that precede them, I am now rebuilding my life. Henceforth, I will go forward with my head held high and search for opportunities as fiercely as a starving lion is searching for food. I'm hungry, and you want to be hungry too. If you want success, you should be hungry for success. Your success, whatever you define your success to be, you want to be hungry for it. Now, the vow is as follows. Never again will I wait and hope for opportunity to find me. I have turned my back on the past. None of those previous failures will slow my new stride towards the bright lamp of success and happiness where I will want to spend the rest of my life. Now I know that if I want to sing, I can always find a song. I look back now only to reminisce. I am beginning a new life, and I have reversed my old way of thinking. Just as I have altered the actions of my past life, those old ways of thinking no longer apply. Think of this. While the fool is enjoying the little that he has, I will hunt for more. So, although we might enjoy what we have and be grateful for it, so we're not going against the concept of gratitude. So we can be grateful for what we have, yet still want more or better. But that doesn't, just because you want better doesn't mean it doesn't mean you don't have gratitude, but you should still express gratitude for that. Because again, never again will we wait and hope for opportunity to find us. So far, I have already improved. just in the year or so since I read the principles. Discovered the principles and discovered the vows. Now, what improvements have I made? I have improved many qualities in my character so that now I am better equipped to recognize opportunity and claim my share. Already I have rooted out many bad habits through my adoption of the 10 principles of success. Many of those that held me back through, and by doing it through the daily repeating that I talked about in that video series, and the repeating of the words of these vows as well, and thinking about the underlying meanings behind the vows that I've been discussing in each video. Now, through all of this, a reconstruction is happening. I'm changing the way I look at things. I've always been a positive person, but I never applied that positivity in every aspect of my life, in all aspects of my life, at least not on a conscious level. But I start where I am even today, even after a year of studying these principles and adopting them, incorporating them into my life. Let me start where I am. Even with some of my qualities still within me that often made me despise myself. So I still challenge a lot of things about my core being, who I am. But rather than beat myself up about them, let me attend to them one at a time. So I work on myself. And what you want to do is look at what you don't like about yourself, not for the purpose of loathing yourself or self-hate, but of to say, hey, I could be better at this. If you use a lot of profanity and you want to clean up your language, you can just work at cleaning up your language. If you're a person that likes to gossip, you can stop the gossip. If you're a person who likes to complain, you can stop the complaining. If you're a person who kind of gets dejected, you can learn how to be more positive and how to be more hopeful. And if you're a person who talks down on themselves, you can work on that and stop talking down on yourself and give yourself confidence. And most of all, you can use God's strength to assist yourself with your weaknesses. That's what I do. At the very least, we will be better than we are right now if we have the courage to reach beyond our grasp and now faith enough to believe that we can be what we ought to be our best. Now, in the past, I have foolishly allowed my failures and regrets to so weigh me down that I traveled with my head hung low and my eyes pointed towards the ground. But now that my heavy load of the past has been tossed aside and my vision has been elevated, I can see that everywhere I look, open doors welcome me to a better life. For never again will I wait and hope for opportunity to find me. Oftentimes, people invite me to speak and talk to groups about things in my business, like credit and personal credit, business credit, and business operations and marketing and things of that nature. Now, and so I appreciate that, because that's what I express to people. When I talk to one person, they say they find so much value in what I have to tell them, they want me to share that with someone else, with others. And so they invite me to speak to groups of people that they can bring forth that would share that information. Now, every day when I post my goals for the day, I will list at the very top a reminder that I should remain alert to opportunities. But we have to be careful of opportunity cost, because sometimes when you have too many opportunities, it can cause you to misdirect or make too many directions and almost become distractions. So we have to be careful of that, because that's what's called opportunity cost. But each morning when I awake, I go forth and meet the day with a smile, no matter what unpleasant task confronts me. Now, opportunity, like love, is never attracted by gloom and despair. I mean, I don't think any of us are physically attracted, in whether it's romantic or otherwise, in a person who's so down in the dumps and so negative and so, and so you always say, oh, they almost make you feel uncomfortable. Now, I know that those who succeed best in life are always cheerful and hopeful people. People who go on about their work with a smile on their face and take the chances and changes of this mortal life that we live with humor and good cheer. In other words, they be happy, they be positive. And they face equally rough and smooth situations alike. And they face them as they come. Now, these folks are the wise men and women who always make more opportunities than they find. So people talk about finding opportunities. We know that with the right mindset and the right vision, you can make opportunities with that might not be apparent. For example, you could talk about like companies. There are companies out there that for years they make wood furniture, and of course, one of the byproducts of doing a lot of cutting and sawing and drilling with wood is you make wood dust. You make, sawdust and wood chips and things like that. But for a long time, they would burn that up or throw it in the trash. But someone thought of the idea that if you took that sawdust and you mix it with glue and resins and different things like that, you can form it and mold it into what's called, what they used to call it was fake wood, but it's really more engineered wood. So rather it being wood created from the natural growth of a plant, they're taking the wood material and forming it and reforming it in different ways. And so then they can mold pieces and sawdust into different things. They can even, sometimes they just mold it into pellets to be used in a barbecue grill, or they can mold it into wood products that can be shaped and formed in ways that you may not want to do with wood, but you could do it, but many things you can. So someone saw an opportunity for that, and now that's big business. So something that was a waste product or byproduct is now an actual commodity that's being used for the manufacture of other things. Opportunities many times are so small that we glimpse at them, and yet they are often the seeds of great enterprises. So we glimpse and we don't recognize an opportunity, and then they can go on to become a seed for something great. Opportunities are everywhere, and so we must always let our hook, like we're fishing, let that hook be hanging, and so if we get a bite, we'll be ready to deal with what's on the under end of the line. So, and when we least expect it, a great fish will come by and take a bite, and we'll be good. So never again will I wait and hope for opportunity to find me. I am not the person I was a few years ago. Opportunities will never remain concealed from me again. No longer do I wail and curse at the world for my lack of good things in life. I am still discontented with my situation, but now it is a discontent that stands in the rain and searches the heavens for the blue skies of opportunity and the stars of hope. Speaking about discontented, there are two kinds of discontented people in the world. The first kind gets what it wants, and the second loses what it already has. In other words, the first kind of discontented people they're discontent that infuse them to go out and see and seek and make opportunities and become successful. The second kind of discontented people have no sense of gratitude about what they have, And so they chase after something they want and they lose what they already had. Now there is no cure for the first, there's no cure for the first kind of discontented person but success. And there is no cure at all for the second kind of person. Now, do you know who you are? Are you the first? Or would you say you're the second? I know who I am, and I like who I am. And my goal for you is to think about this and know who you are and like who you are. And if you don't, then become who you want to be, who you would like as a person. Now I know, with help, prayer, study, meditation, whatever you want to call it, that's a self-reflection that we want to take. But you also pray and never hurts. Now I understand that opportunity doesn't really knock. That expression, people talk about opportunity knocks. Opportunity, I don't believe, never really knocks at a door. But opportunity will answer when I knock at its door, and I will do a police knock. Knock often and knock loud, at least as often as it is to where I can find my way to success. So, let's say it together. Never again will I wait and hope for opportunity to find and embrace me. So I know the words are a little bit of flourish, but I think the meaning is plain. So basically, don't just sit around waiting for something good to happen to you. Just like we talked about in the principles, you want to take action. You want to be on the lookout for an opportunity, and then you want to go for it. Because if God put it in your vision for you to see, He meant for you to take it and see what you can do with it and run with it if you can. So hopefully this is helpful to you. I hope you join me for the next video, vow number 9, where we're going to talk more about self-examination. Talk to you soon, and God bless.